Hey, YouTubers, what's going on? It's your finest, hosted by yours truly. What's good? I'm gonna do a video that I haven't seen up here on YouTube. A real good, up to date video on one of the most effective ways to easily, excuse me, and safely once you get used to it, of course, way to to repair the family of dreadnoks from GI Joe vintage toy line. And what I mean by that is the three that change colors, which is Zartan, Zarana, and Zander, which are brothers and sisters. Of course, Zartan came out first. Then about 2 years or so later, they came out and released Zarana as well as Zander, which are the brother and sister, based technically the siblings of Zartan. But before I do that, I want to tell you people out there to be very wary of where you buy your O-rings online. I think personally, I think it's best if you go ahead and just pick them up at your local Home Depot or Lowe's, depending on price. I never been to Lowe's and know how much they charge, but I particularly like Home Depot better than Lowe's. Every time I go to Lowe's, I think their price is a little high. Or maybe I'm just being biased because I've been shopping at Home Depot forever. So that could be the case. But anyway, Home Depot have these. It's by a company called Danco. And it is number 8 O-ring. And it is 916 OD by 3/8 ID by 332. And what I did was I went and they actually have a diorama of the actual size of the O-ring here. And what I did was I took one of these O-rings um, and I basically size matched it because some of them they do look alike, and I size matched it. And obviously, let me see. I got big fingers, so excuse me. And as you see here, it's a perfect fit. Now, the reason why I'm telling you you're better off, yeah, you get 10. It's 10 per pack, and it was like $2.38. So you figure for 6 of them, it was like $14 and 20 something, I think 28 or 29 cents. So you figure 60 of them cost you basically 15 bucks. You're probably better off doing that than buy them online because as of late, I must have brought about maybe, I don't know how many, but some of my GI Joes, when I put them in a package, they are like this. This is what happens to them, and they're not even moving. I just stuff them in a bag. I stuff them in a Ziploc bag with other figures until I get the weapons together and buy GI Joe stands to properly display them. But I think maybe this weekend or next weekend coming up, I'd probably go to Michael's. I'll probably go to IKEA and pick up two Detolfs. Because sooner or later, I think my side room is just going to be all Detolf pimped out. So this particular, like these are coming out. I just have to repair 3 more figures. And it's mainly because, like this figure here, this is Zap. I think this is like version 2 or 3 of Zap. And as you see here, this is a brand new O-ring. And I think what happens over time is a lot of people online, I don't know, maybe they store them somewhere and they dry because they keep snapping. The same thing with what the hell's his name? Raptor. With Raptor, same thing. As you see, just comes right off. And this is really annoying because the last person I purchased from, I have this problem. And for some reason it's all happening around the seems like it's happening around the lower extremity, like around a hook area. Same thing for Captain for Gridiron. As you see here, I don't understand why this is happening. And I thought maybe it was because when I'm putting them back together, they're pinching on the back of the whatchamacallits, but that's not the case. And I think this Zap, I think I know why I couldn't get this one. I think because this one is something wrong with the back. That's why I kept this one like this. I think it's not only stripped, but I also think the screw is somehow either glued or stuck in there. So whatever. Everybody else is good. I am going to do a video right after this showing you guys all the G.I. Joes I have right now, what I accumulated, and where I got the stuff from. So stay tuned for that. But before I do so, I do have this I want to show you guys because, like I said, I do want to show everybody the proper way. People say, oh, you know, a lot of people say, you know, use boiling water. Bullshit. You don't want to use boiling water. Here's Zander, and I'm going to show you a quick way. This O-ring doesn't really have to be replaced, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to show you guys a perfect way to do this. Just real quick. I know some of this might hurt some of you. Okay. Now I gotta... this is why it's always great to edit videos, right? Hold on a second here. Let me... Because of course it falls under the desk. Real quick. First thing you want to do, is you want to unscrew. What you can do sometimes too is after you unscrew it to test it, so you don't, you know, not only cause damage, but you know, you never know if somebody repaired it prior. But you know, Hasbro for some reason, I don't understand what and all. Now the screw don't want to come out. Oh, God damn it. Damn, why does this screw don't want to come out, man? Zander's screw don't. Yeah, whatever. Don't want to come out. Anyway, yeah, this one is glued too. I think that was a bad. This is basically a real bad manufacturing thing that Hasbro did, which is they glued Zander's, Zarana and Zartan's body. I don't know if it has something to do with the material or whatever, but they glued it. Now, all you need is great ingenuity and a razor. Now, being very simple. You know, it's a couple ways you could do this. As you see, my hands are not protected. I'm going to show you guys how easy it is. I don't like X-Acto knives for two reasons. Why? The blades are extremely thin and flimsy. It takes way too long. And on top of that, I like to have grip because the more grip you have, the more force you can apply, and you can apply it evenly. Now, one thing I would say is, first of all, you want to get a guideline. As you see that, the guideline is basically that crack. And I'm going to show you guys real time. Very simply, I lined it right up. It's lined right up to the, whatchamacallit. And what I'm doing right now is creating that so that way I don't create more of a line. And I'm just basically going to add this guideline, and I'm going to keep my finger pressed on the razor to keep the blade from moving or shifting. And what I'm doing right now is just simply applying a little pressure. And as you see, I'm using a palm. Didn't cut myself. And voila, look at that. That's simple. Didn't take hours. Now, okay, now I fell out. And of course, now the screw falls out. Perfect. I should do that in the first place, right? All right, so, all right. Let's get you guys back. Sorry about that. There we go. Now I'm going to do the other side. Is this the side I just did, right? Okay. Now the other side, same verse as the first. Just, you know, you want to make sure you line it up. It's perfect. It's very simple. Once you get it there, it's automatically going to line itself up. Once you get the fill. And I'm just basically going across it. And as you see here, you want to make sure you line it up it'll line up by itself anyway. Because remember, it's a razor and it is thin, so it'll line up right to that. And what I'm doing here is creating a line first. I want to get that line in there, and boom. Some Xandars are easier than others. Some are harder depending on the plastic they use, and there is a little glue residue on the blade. You probably can't see it because of the glare from my computer. Well, actually, Isaiah's computer, because I have decided to. I have a computer downstairs that for about 2 months now has been sitting down there on our kitchen table area. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just basically, I'm doing this. I'm rocking it back and forth, so I can get it in between the crevices. I can't speak, y'all. And I'm just gonna rock it back and forth a little bit. Some are harder than others. I did a couple and I made another video, but I was like, you know what? Let me get the O-rings in there as well. I did wash my hands, and I kind of screwed up because I basically have some baby oil on my hands and stuff. So that's why this hand is kind of ashy, because I basically used some alcohol and stuff to get the baby oil off my hands. Because you don't want to have slippery hands or sweaty palms while you're doing this, because you will be. And voila. That's simple. You heard that click? And yeah, the peg did break. I don't really give a shit about the peg. Peg don't bother me. So I'm going to go on this side, do the same thing. This side is obviously a little harder. And I'm going to do the Zartan as well. Once I get this side. It's the glue they use. I don't understand why on Zarana, Zander, and Zartan they decide to do this. I think that is so stupid. I could have re-glued it, but I'm going to show you guys just how effective it is. Now I'm going to go in here and just apply enough pressure to, force my way through by doing this. As you see, I'm just rocking it back and forth on the guideline, not moving it. I want to kind of get it in there. Maybe I can even force this open. This one is a little hard. Zartan is, he basically has a thinner, well, a different plastic. So, okay, that's not going to work. So I don't want to force it. So I'm going to go in here again. And you see how on this side, I didn't do anything. And you see the space, just perfect. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go in here and kind of get that plastic off. Well, not the plastic, the glue, excuse me. Get that little glue. I think this is like the third or second Xandar I did. And as you can see, that's glue hanging off the side of his waist, or his oblique area right here. That's glue. So I guess sometimes, depending on the kind of glue they use too. I don't know if they use super glue, some kind of industrial glue. I will tell you, I won't recommend. I know it might be quicker for some people to just, go off somewhere, do something, and try to boil the figure in a pot. That is a mistake. You got to remember something. You're adding a very hot temperatures to a plastic toy. That is a disaster waiting to happen. And kind of naive when you think about the fact is would you really wanted? I wouldn't go with a blowtorch. I mean, not blowtorch. I wouldn't go with a hair dryer, because again, it is plastic, and you're talking about a 20-something-year-old toy. That's a no-no. That is a catastrophe waiting to happen. I learned this trick years ago. You have to learn tricks when you do a lot of trades with friends that, they trade you G.I. Joes and stuff, and some of the G.I. Joes are not in the best condition, and, you have to learn how, you learn, you got a lot of people you do trades with. They got, so they got a lot of their toys just sitting, and they, they're played with, they're well loved. They, they collect them, but they play with them, It's not like now where everything's a fucking collectible. This one's going to be a little tough. Wow. I don't understand why this one is so tough. But I do notice some of these Xandars, do have a rougher plastic, like more of a glassy, like cement type plastic over more of a rubber. You know, if that makes any sense. Okay, I just heard the click. So yeah, it's in there, and of course the peg is destroyed, but I don't give a shit. And as you see now, it's fully through. And just because I know this plastic is a pain in the ass, I am going to go in and I'm going to do the shoulder area. Same as what I did on the sides. Just make sure you see the guideline. Don't fuck up the arm. So you want to just like put the tip here. I got big arms. I mean big hands. So and big arms obviously. And you just basically push it along and downward. You know, just make sure you don't damage the neck and make sure you don't damage the arm as well as the head, and you should be fine. And it just goes right in. If you really take your time, look at this video. Pay attention to this video. Pay attention to what I'm doing as close as you can as you see how I'm putting the tip. And again, sorry for the nasty, ashy looking hands. Like I said, you know, I'm black guys, so we use baby oils and lotions to keep our skin from being ashy. And just like that, and voila. And he should, oh, there you go, came right apart. Now let me show you guys. He came right apart, and no distortion or anything other than the fact that his pegs are broken, but it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna show you guys how it's gonna look putting it back together again. As you see, no problems on the top. You don't need an X-Acto knife, and I would never ever recommend, and I'll put them together here. And so yeah, I would never ever recommend a what do you call that? I would never recommend boiling water or solutions like Goop Be Gone and get rid of glue this and that, because those solutions are not only kind of toxic, but at the same time they're extremely strong. And remember, you're adding this stuff to 20-something-year-old plastic. Let me go ahead and clean off that residue. That will make sense to kind of clean off this, give it a more cleaner look, get this old ass glue. You want to kind of like get it off, but at the same time don't cause any damage to the actual figure. And that glue is hard. The glue almost becomes a plastic itself, because you know it's 20 damn years. Now notice these O-rings are not as stiff, and they stretch very easily from Home Depot versus the ones I brought from the guy online. I don't really recommend buying these O-rings online because I brought, I think, O-rings from 2 different individuals, and they both had some O-rings. The last guy, most of his O-rings were really bad, because I probably have about, I must have threw away about a good 30 or 40 that were no good. And for some reason, I don't know what happened to my whatchamacallit. Oh, here's a screw. And of course you need a screwdriver that, you know, has like a magnet effect to it. So that way you don't have to worry about using your fingers to and you don't want to go too much. You know, just go to where it's tight. Once you hear that, it's done. You may have to glue because you just fucked up the screw groove. And here you have them. Perfect. Don't need no glue. And his shoulder area. And just to show you again, we're going to do Zartan. Zartan's skin is a little bit more softer depending on the figure. And as you see here, he actually creates even a better you know, line, because his shirt is off. So I'm going to go in here and basically dismantle, cut his guts, and there you have it. Zartan. And again, I'm going to show you guys again. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, I'm sacrificing my hands and shit for you guys. And what better way to sit here and show people just how it's done than to sacrifice your own limbs as well as your own figs to show people that it works. I use metal. I have a metal one, and this is just, I don't know. Just get you a metal box cutter. Get you a couple of the replacement razor blades and go to work. Again, you know, you go right into the groove. And he creates a better line. For some reason, I'm going to start here. Don't ask me why. I'm just going to go here, create a better line. And I'm just going to go right into it. And you see how easy this is? Like, look. You know, he has a different, his plastic is different. And that fucking simple. No X-Acto knife. No glue, gunk, remove crap. I've been doing this so long that it's like second nature to me. And again, this is years of practice. If you don't have a steady hand and if you wear glasses and or definitely use lighting. But I've been doing this for so long that it's just like painting. Like for me, drawing and painting and, you know, doing custom statues and all that shit. It gets to the point where you get so comfortable. I just know what I'm doing and that's it. So now I'm going in here and I'm going to turn his head all the way here and get his hood out the way. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with Zander, and I'm going to create a line. Yep, perfect. Again, he has a softer, and you want to, and whatever area you're cutting, you want to turn his head that way, so you don't, you know, compromise or mess up the mask or the face. And remember, you want to kind of like use the tip of it, go down, you know, go up. I mean, go in, down. And then you should be fine just like that so you don't mess up the arms or you don't add any kind of stress or anything. And it should come right open. Oh, I did take out. Yeah, he's there. Tell you this, it's fucking... Now what? Why all of a sudden now it doesn't want to... It's because I got the G.I. Joes on the keyboards here. Oh, man. Oh, my God. I got so much shit falling now. I really got to clean this damn desk. So you guys got to bear with me for a second here. And get that. Sorry about that. I'm ready. Destroying figures. These are times why and how I see why people actually do what do you call it? Why they what do you call that? Edit. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and open it up now. You know, obviously I just showed you guys, and he has to be clean too. So I just need to. She's been a little difficult to open up, so I'm just going to go in a little bit more and make sure I got everything. Because, again, you don't want to snap anything. Yeah, see, that's perfect. Because, you know, you don't want to compromise the figure. And, again, with Zander, Zarana, and Zartan, these Neanderthals did that. Then they have some other figures that are really, really screwed up, too, like... the ones that come to talking backpacks, because you have to unscrew the backpack from, you know, forward. You have to unscrew them and then take off the shell, then go inside and take the battery and the speaker out, then unscrew it from that side just to unscrew the figure. And hold on a second, I'm so sorry. I got these big ass paws, and there you have them, Zartan. So now we're gonna, you know, replace his O-ring. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the stressed areas, and that's extremely clean. And we're going to go in here, add this new O-ring. But first I'm going to wipe off that inner dust. off the legs. Very simple. Use my fingers to do so. Get up between the legs area, because obviously you can get into the areas you couldn't when it wasn't together. I mean, when it wasn't apart. Excuse me. And I'm using my fingers just to go in there. You can use a Q-tip, uh, whatever you want to go in there and do that. But it's perfect now, and voila. You put the O-ring through the hook, kind of stretch it out a little bit, pinch it, push it through. Make sure you don't bust or mess up the crotch. You got to pay attention to be careful when you're doing the crotch period. And now that the legs are through, and we are going. Where I just put him? Okay, we are going to add the Zartan. Okay, I gotta push the O-ring through there. There you have them. And we're putting Zartan together. Put his arm. Guess we're gonna start with the left, then the right. I don't really have a proper way to install them back on, but what I'm going to do is kind of push upward first to make sure that the collarbone area gets in and under, where even if the arm fall out, just hold it, put it back in, right there, because of his hood, as you can see there. And I'm just basically gonna push up on. I'm gonna push the crotch down a little bit, just kind of like stretch it out, and there you have it. Now he's actually installed. Now I gotta figure out where I just put his screw. Oh, here it is. There you go. Put his screw back in, and I'm gonna show you the finished product. Once it's tight, that's it. Don't keep going, because you're gonna break it. And I'm gonna show you him. As you see, you can't even see no line. And that is the proper way to, replace Zander, Zarana, and Zartan's O-ring. Unfortunately, with these characters, you have to do that, which is kind of a bummer, but what are you going to do? I do want to take him downstairs and clean. I might even have to do so. I could just probably wipe him down real quick up here, because his chest area needs to be cleaned. But I do have his chest plate here, which I'll just put back on. And I also have another one with another chest plate. But just like a couple of my Joes, the crotch is busted on him. So I do want to, replace that. And again, here he is. So that is, to me, I would definitely suggest people, unless you deal with certain people, I would definitely suggest you go to Home Depot. If you can find those O-rings in big bulk, fine, because you might get them cheaper. But 10 of them for $2.38 is not bad, but it does add up when you buy more and more. So 60 of them cost you $14.28. But I think it's kind of better than paying 16 to 18 bucks or less online, because people online will send you ones that are kind of like, they're not dried out, but they're kind of hard, and a lot of them do give way, and they're just really shit. And as you can see, I must have threw away, I think I threw away more than 30 or 40 of these that I had to replace. And like an idiot, I just ordered I ordered 200. I don't even know why I did that. But I did. I ordered it from, I think, the first person. But my luck, it'll probably be the fucking second one on why they got really messed up. Actually, I think that the first one, the guy was from New York. So I think the second one was out of state. I don't know. Anyway, so I think that's the proper way to do so. Again, get you a nice box cutter. Make sure it's metal, so that way, you know, it won't give way to the weight of your hand. Make sure you line up. And remember, a razor is extremely thin. It basically, all an X-Acto knife is a slimmer, thinner razor. That's all an X-Acto knife is. Don't get it twisted. It's a fucking razor that has a, it's basic. It's a razor. That's all it is. So get you a razor, and to get you a couple of disposable blades. Be very careful with your hands. And again, I have no cuts, no ended, no nothing on my hands. Just take your time, look at it, place it on the guideline, and just add a little pressure to it. And very slowly, the first couple of times until you get used to it, you go up and down that line, and then you want to keep switching. You do it a couple of times on this side, then you go to the other side. You want to do it evenly. And then sooner or later, you wind up getting the whole, the whole blade through, both sides. Then you want to complete the same process to the collarbone neck area. But when you do, you don't want to just go straight down, because remember, the tip of this, you don't want it to mess up the neck and or the face. You don't want it to, you don't want nothing to no, you know what I'm saying? No scars, no scuffs. And of course, you don't want to mess up like the shoulder area or the shoulder and or the arm of the figure. So you want to make sure that collarbone area, you kind of like go right down where the neck meets, but right there at the nudge, and you kind of like just put it right there. Then slightly you just guide it a little bit, and then you just apply a little bit more pressure to the front end. Like you just apply a little bit more pressure, and then you dig down a little bit, and you keep going just like that until you hear it go, or you see it go right through. Then you repeat the same process on the other side. Then then after that, boom, it should come right apart without any problems. And you may have some glue residue. Make sure you take it off, and you don't have to re-glue it. You just screw it back in, which is what the fucking idiots in Hasbro should have done in the first place. But that's a whole different story. So I do have a lot of G.I. Joe figures, so stay tuned for the video after this one. I can't sleep. So, I don't know why these figures are on this side. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I did get a quick kick today. And he basically needs a whole crotch piece. And, of course, my Raptor, I have to replace his O-ring, as well as I think Zap version 2 or 3, whatever the hell one he is, as well as Captain Gridiron, because again, for some reason these O-rings are shit. But I can tell a difference in the filling. I could tell a difference between the ones that I got from Home Depot versus the ones I got from this asshole who sold them to me. I could immediately tell the feel. Like they felt a lot more. They feel a lot more rubbery, and like it just feels better. It does feel better, and I'm opening up a couple of more of them, and I just want to. Yeah, it just feels so much different. It's basically the same size and everything, but it feels more like it's more firm, but at the same time yet more rubbery, so to speak. I can't explain it, but I could just tell the texture was just totally different. So yeah, whatever. So next video I will be showing you guys. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys so you could basically see and it's quick. It's not an hour and a half, 4 hours. If you're doing it for so long, I know what I'm doing, and you see how quick it was. All right, you guys, peace out.